Hello! In today's video we are going to talk about simming. Your gut reaction to that could actually be no. Simming is not important. Simming doesn't matter. I'm doing fine without doing it. There's no need to sim. That's elitism. And while that last part maybe could become that, it really isn't. Simming is just simply a tool for you to maximize your DPS. That's all it is, and I'm going to teach you how to do it. I think the best way to do this will be to break it into 3 parts. First, how to get the data from your character so you can bring that to the sims. Then where to bring the data to actually sim it. And finally, just short general tips and advice on how to use sims as a tool. Sims might seem like it can be a bit daunting, a bit much, especially when you're just getting started, but I can assure you that it's actually really simple, and once you get actually started using it, it will just come as second nature. It's super intuitive, so don't worry about it, yeah? We will start by actually gathering the data you're gonna need from your character, and that's what we're gonna do through an add-on. There's gonna be 2 main ways to get add-on. One is through using an add-on client, like WoWup. In this, you just go to find new add-ons. Then you just search up Simcraft and you choose this one. As you can see, I already got it installed. The second way would to go to the site directly. In this case it would be curseforge.com. You're gonna direct yourself to World of Warcraft. Luckily it's a big game, so it's on the front page right here. Just click it. Then we simply search up the add-on we want. It's Simcraft, and here you can see it again. Here you simply download the file. It's gonna open as a zip file. You just open it, you take this file and you copy it and move it to the World of Warcraft add-ons folder. Maybe the easiest way to find this folder is through opening your Battle.net. You click this cog, you choose Show in Explorer. In here, you choose Retail. You go to Interface, you go into the add-ons folder, and then you simply just paste it into here as a new file. That's it. That's the add-on installed. Just a little tip, you do want to open your vault if you want to sim the items that's inside, and this add-on can do that. All you need to do is to open it once, and then you can just close it again. Now the add-on will be able to register those items as well. Okay, back to actually using the add-on. This is how to use the add-on in the game. All you do is to open your chat and do a slash command, and in this case it's /simc. You're gonna get this little pop-up and it's gonna have all the data inside it. All you need to do is Ctrl+C or Ctrl+X to copy it. Okay, we gathered your data. Now let's go over to where you're gonna bring it. And while there is a lot of options, the one I would recommend, especially because of its user friendliness, is this site, raidbots.com. As you can see, there are 3 options here, and I will just go quickly through them all. First is Quick Sim. Quick Sim does what it says. It does a quick sim of your character. Just paste your information in, run the quick sim. It's always a bit interesting to watch this work. And there we go. This is a quick sim of my character. Normally there isn't much use to quick sims, but it gives you the data fast. So if you're in the situation where you're a raid leader or you're searching for a guild and they ask, this is how you get it quickly. The second tool, and a really useful one, is Drop Optimizer. And I think you already guessed what it does. First we paste in our character data, then you kind of choose from what source you want to sim. Because in here you're going to be able to sim the gear which you still haven't got. So let's say I'm doing the Amidrisil raid. Then I click it. What raid difficulty am I doing it on? Of course, Awakened Mythic. Then you're going to see these items to sim. Always put it to the maximum, because we are simming for potential. I also like to upgrade all equipped gear to the same item level. This is so you sim the best gear you can get in the raid versus the best gear you got in your bags, avoiding the situation where you kind of fool yourself. You're just gonna see a quick list of all the items that can drop for you in the raid, and then you just do run Drop Optimizer. Drop Optimizer, when you're doing like me, using it for free, can be a bit clunky, because if you want to sim all the options, all the dungeons, all the raids, you got to do them one by one. So you open one for Amidrisil, then you open another tab, then you do the vault, or for dungeons, you open one for Ruby Life Pools, then you got to open another one for Brackenhide Hollows, and so on and on. It's a lot of tabs. It's all a bit annoying, but it's worth it. It's something you don't do that often anyways, maybe twice, thrice a season. And if you only want to do it once at the start of the season, then that is more than enough. But as a tool to find out where you want to go, to find the items you want, Drop Optimizer is chef's kiss excellente. Top Gear is going to be the one you're going to use the most. It works like the quick sim in that you just paste your information in this window. What is different is this time you're actually going to be able to choose what gear you want to sim. The most important thing to you to know in here is how to sim your gear. So I'm just going to do an example sim to show you how it works. The first thing I normally do when simming is going into the currency tab and just max it all out. This is just to allow raid bots to ignore currencies, because I just want to know my maximum potential and what I want to upgrade. Getting the currency itself in game is just a problem in a whole nother ballpark, so I just want to ignore it on the sims. In this example, I want to know if the hands I got from my Great Vault, as you can see it's marked here with GV, if this is better than my current hands. What I would do is simply click it. You can see now it's marked, and you will see the iterations increase. Iterations is just how many calculations you're allowed to do. It is limited. You don't really need that many iterations normally, so don't worry about it. Back to what I was actually doing. You can see this little plus by the hands. What I like to do is maximum upgrade my item. So in the modify setting here, I choose upgrade to max. That's 528. And then I also go to the old item I had and I max that out as well. Because you want to know both at their maximum potential when you're simming for your upgrades there. Of course, you could also choose to sim more items at the same time. It would always be interesting and good to do. So just for fun, I'm gonna just mark a few more items. What's important to remember when you're simming your gear is when you change any of these pieces out with another, the comparisons will actually differ. So I'm just going to make up an example. Let's say if I choose these hands and these pants, then these hands will be worse than these hands. Now let's say I change out my pants, then suddenly these two would flip. Then the hands that was worse would suddenly become better. And this is why you kind of want to have like items with different stats as options always, because you never know if that item with those stats is suddenly going to be better just from swapping out it with another item. When you go down and you go through the items, you're going to go to enchantments, gems, and talent trees. All these matter, and very often people forget to actually sim the gear enchanted. So they're simming the gear which is enchanted against gear that's non-enchanted in the sims, and they get scuffed results, so don't do that. Do remember to choose like your basic enchantments. Of course, the head enchant must go on, the chest enchant should be on, the waking stats. And of course this is a Death Knight, so it got its own set of enchants. But normally you would just choose like your weapon enchant. Always remember to choose your leg enchant, and of course your ring enchants. Same as with rings, you do with gems. If you're gonna sim different builds against each other, you normally don't want to sim them with gear as well, because this will double the amount of iterations, because it's going to do all the same iterations of the things above for each of these trees. So it's going to double it. But this is really useful if you want to see the differences of your gear in one build versus another. And those things do matter, especially on different kind of bosses. Then finally you're going to decide how, what, and with what settings you want to sim. I did honestly try to make a short version where I try to explain all the settings, to break them down and make it so you could take your own choice based on that information. The problem is the topic is so contested and kind of complex that it just kept boiling on, and in the end I had like a 40-minute video going on with me just talking about this part alone. So instead I'm gonna attack it from a different route. I'm just gonna say what I am doing, very short of why I'm doing it, not expand upon the options on how I do it, all in the name of just making it short and concise for a beginner. If this is the topic you actually want to know more about, you can just make it known and I will consider releasing the rant video. Okay, disclaimer out of the way, I'm gonna get to the actual sims. In this part we're actually not gonna touch any of the advanced options. We're just gonna leave everything to default. It works well enough. For raids, you kind of want to do this. You want to do one boss, 5 minutes, one target. This is just a really good standard single target sim. If you want to know your AoE, you simply set the targets from 1 to 5. I do recommend keeping it to 5. If you're not always mass pulling, then turn it up to 8. Dungeon slice might work for your spec, but you need to go to your class Discord and ask, is it accurate for us? Going back to the example we're actually doing with my Blood Death Knight, it is a raid tank, so the only thing that's actually useful is one target, 5 minutes. And then we run the sim. The results are in, and indeed, the gloves is an upgrade. You can here see all the items you've been simmed being listed in order of the biggest upgrade to the smallest. Keep in mind if the color is blue and not green, that means it's just within the margin of error. So it's a very minor upgrade, if even that. If it's green, it is an upgrade. But it's just a question of how big, but that's all the number. And there we go. You now know all the basics on how to sim, and hopefully that will allow you to reach your maximum potential as a DPS in World of Warcraft. I wish you a continued happy great day and an even better coming week.